Hey guys, what's up? It's Dark Mac here with another Gold Challenge Mode guide, and today we are in Bloodmaul Slag Mines. Now I'd go as far to say this is actually one of the easier challenge modes to get, provided that you can dodge big balls of fire and coordinate interrupts. You really shouldn't have too much of a rough time getting gold in this challenge mode. Now to start off, we are going to pull the 2 ogres right out of the gate and then the 3 ogres padding on the bridge. So we'll get 2 enforcers, 2 enslavers and 1 overseer. Now the Bloodmaul enforcers, they're the guys that cast the crush. So there'll be a circle of dust that will appear on the ground where they're going to slam, and you want to make sure that you are not standing in it. Do note sometimes it can go behind them or at the side of them, but just make sure you're paying attention, and you really shouldn't have an excuse for getting hit by that. The Bloodmaul overseers, they will cast a thing called Subjugate, which will stun someone for 10 seconds. You really want to make sure you're interrupting that. They'll also put down a purple patch of shit on the ground called a suppression field, which will silence you, so again, don't be standing in that. The Bloodmaul slavers, they cast a thing called Slaver's Rage on themselves. And if you remember the Hulk in Grimrail Depot with the Getting Angry, it's just an enrage buff that'll keep stacking and do more damage. So dispel it like you do with your normal enrages, your shivs, your tranks, your sues, etc. Just make sure that you are managing that and getting it off. So once we've done that first initial 5, we're going to go around the corner to the right, and we are going to pull the slaver on the right wall, the padding enforcer, the sleeping slaver and the other slaver on the right wall. Again, you just want to make sure that you're dodging the enforcer's crush and watching the enrages on the slavers. This trash does hit quite hard, but really shouldn't have any problems with it, providing everybody is moving from what they need to be. So once these guys are down, we're going to keep moving down, and we are going to pull the next pack of 3. The next pack of 3 has a Bloodmaul Geomancer in it. The Geomancers buff themselves and other mobs around them with a thing called Stoned Bulwark. It can be dispelled or interrupted. This pack also has an Overseer and an Enforcer in it, which we went through before. Again, the Enforcer, just make sure you're watching the smashes. The Overseer, the suppression fields and the Subjugate casts. There is a pad of 2 we really should have pulled in with these guys. We missed them and we end up having to kill them after the first boss. So if you can catch them in with this pull, it is a really good time to pull them. As you can see too, when we pulled them, I used the pillar just to line of sight them because we didn't have a mass grip and I'm not on my DK, so I just used one of the big wooden posts to line of sight them and get them to run up. Just makes it easier than pulling extra shit than what you need to do when you're in there, and if you pull the next pad of 3 around the corner with these guys, you are absolutely fucked. So once this guy is down, we are going to go around the corner to the right towards the first boss. We're going to go and do this See You Next Tuesday of a pull. It contains 2 Bloodmaul Ogre Mages. They cast Lava Bursts, which do an absolute fucking arse ream of damage. You really want to try and interrupt what you can of these. They'll also cast a damage buff on an enemy mob, which will allow them to do 30% extra damage, which also fucking hurts. The mob in the middle is the Bloodmaul Water, and those fuckers cast Fear, and you want to interrupt it. There are a lot of fears in this instance. It's pretty cool, but at the same time, it's fucking annoying. If a fear gets off and you cop lava blasts to the face, or burst I should say, sorry, you're going to die. So again, frag belt grenades, leg sweeps, asphyxiates, whatever you've got to sort of manage that, make sure you do. Once that pack's down, you're going to pull the 2 adds. There'll be 1 to the right and there'll be 1 down by the boss's side to the left. So you want to pull them, get them up and cleave them down as quick as you can. They're both waters, so again, fears. What we do as usual is we have 2 on marked, 2 on unmarked. You just want to make sure that you've got some way set up to make sure that you are interrupting those fear casts, because if fear gets off here, it's certainly not as bad as when the mages are, but they still do a bit of damage. And you're obviously losing time if fears get off, so just make sure that you've got some system set up. I think that's majority what challenge modes are made up of, is making sure that you've got some kind of stun rotation and interrupt system worked out that'll allow you to get through these so much smoother. So now we're on to the first boss, Slave Watcher Crush Toe. Now Slave Watcher will cast a thing called Earth Crush. Basically he raises a pillar out of the ground. Whichever way he raises the pillar, he's going to punt that in a straight line in front of him. If you get hit by it, you get stunned. It's super easy to dodge and you should not be getting hit by this. So after he's cast that, he'll do a thing called Wild Slam. which he will slam everyone back. He'll then do a crushing leap where he'll jump to a random player's location, root them in place for 8 seconds, and he'll cause the adds to focus that player. Now Brewmasters, you just want to stick an Ox statue down on the ground, and the miners that come out will pretty much go straight onto your Ox statue. Or if you don't have one, just have your party standing close, and you can just cleave the adds down as they will focus. So you can't exactly taunt them off, but the Ox statue does work. He'll also cast a thing called Ferocious Yell, which is another fear. You just need to make sure that you're interrupting this. Pretty much I just locked myself onto getting all the Ferocious Yells. It was just easy. My interrupt's up every single time. If he jumps away, I can roll over to him and get there in time. It's no issues. This boss is really simple. You shouldn't be having any troubles on this boss whatsoever. It's pretty much the exact same as Heroic, and yeah, if you're having problems on this, then you know you've probably got bigger issues about thinking of getting gold. So once he's down, rather than doing the normal way of Heroic going up and going left, we are going up and we are going right, and we are going to go and pull these 2 mobs that I was talking about. We probably should have pulled in the pack of 3 we had earlier, but we have to kill them now. Now this 2-pack's made up of a Geomancer and an Overseer, and as I said, if you do have the chance, pull them into that pack of 3 beforehand and save yourself a lot of time. You want to be focusing down the Geomancer here, and just making sure that you're interrupting the Subjugate cast and not standing in the suppression field. You won't have any trouble with this pull, and it's probably why it's pretty easy to pull into that pack of 3, and we could have saved ourselves a good 10 seconds there. So once they're down, we are going to move further down, and we're going to pull the next pack of 4, which is an Enforcer and 3 Slavers. A big thing to watch out for here is the pig in the corner. You don't need the pig for mob count. The pig has a fuck ton of HP, and you really just don't want to pull the pig. So avoid the pig. Be careful with your barrages and whatnot, hunters. Again, in this pack, the Slavers Rages and the Enforcers Crush. It's about all you really need to watch out for. Yeah, the trash mobs in here, I mean, they hit hard, but really, sort of watching back on this video, the trash in here is quite easy compared to a lot of the other challenge modes that you'll go for gold in. So once you've done them, we're going to move down and around the corner to where the bridge boss is. We can't actually get onto the bridge boss yet because the second boss isn't dead, but we are going to go and pull the Fireworm Slagma. Now Slagma does a lava spit, and a neat little trick is that if you just keep moving, that fire will never ever hit you and you won't take any damage. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and pull the Slaver on the left wall. Make sure it's the Slaver on the left wall, because there will be a padding Slaver. If you pull the one that's to the right, you'll end up still having to kill the padding Slaver. If that padding Slaver isn't where you just saw him there, he'll be up near the gauntlet, so just run up, get him and drag him back down to here, and you just want to cleave these both down. Keep moving so you're not getting hit by the fire, and you'll cruise through this mob too. After this, we are going to invis. So if you've been using pots and whatnot, which obviously you should, just make sure that you haven't used a pot in combat around here, because we're going to invis once we get up to the gauntlet, and obviously if your pot's on cooldown, you're going to be fucked. So we're going to move up to the gauntlet area, and we're going to move up to this rock just outside the start here. We're going to make sure everybody is up here, that we've got pack on, that we've dismissed our pets, and we are going to invis through the gauntlet. Now what we do is we go in and we go to the left, and we're aiming to get just behind this little grate that you'll be able to see in a moment. There it is there. We're just aiming to get on the other side of this grate. Now note, when you come out of invis, you're going to have a pack right on top of you. And you just want to start cleaving them down as quick as you can. There'll be a vengeful magma in there that casts a thing called Cinder Splash. It really doesn't do too much, and there'll be a bunch of little searing ember adds that you just want to cleave down. Again, you really shouldn't have any problems with this. Now the next pull, however, is where a lot of shit can go wrong. And because you've just invis through, if you wipe on this next pack, it is a reset. You can't just res and run back. So if you've got a DK here, you are going to take full advantage of that, and you are going to use the army cheese as usual. We really fucked this pull up because we didn't have anything organised, and I just sort of was saying before to you guys how, you know, challenge modes is all about stun coordination and interrupt order and things like that. I don't know what happened here. We just kind of went in with our heads up our asses and didn't think about it, and 2 people end up dying. You'll see that the lava burst casts cannot be interrupted. They can be stunned. So what you want to do is have some kind of stun order for that. There is a water in this pack. You want to make sure that you're interrupting this fear. So this pack is made up of water, a mage, a molten earth elemental, and a Bloodmaul Magma Binder. Now the Magma Binder is a new ogre. It will cast a lava burst, same as the mage, but it'll also cast a thing called Molten Binding, which is a cast that will slow someone's attack speed and cast time by 70%. You can interrupt that one though, so you want to make sure you're interrupting that, you're rotating your stuns, and you're getting this shit down as quick as you can and making sure a fear doesn't go off. As you can see, our water got a fear off, I died, I got a battle res, then our DK died, so we really fucked that. Then we had to res, rebuff, and we've lost like 12 seconds. Which can be the difference between gold. So you just want to make sure you've got a better plan than we did going into that pack. So now we're on to the second boss, Magma Lattice. I think that's how you say it. It's a two-phase fight. First off, we have to kill Forgemaster Gogda and his two little adds that he'll summon. Now the first add he'll summon will be Runation. He'll cast a thing called Rough Smash. It's a frontal cone smash. It'll stun you if you stand in it, and guess what? You don't want to stand in it. You also don't want to point it over your melee who are DPSing the boss. The second add that'll spawn will be Calamity. This is probably the add of focus out of the two. What you want to do is you want to pop them both together so you're obviously cleaving and not wasting any damage. Calamity, you really want to watch and make sure you're interrupting a thing called Firestorm. He'll also cast a thing called Scorch. If you can interrupt it, do so. But really what you want to make sure is that you are interrupting the Firestorm that he'll cast. So once the two adds are down and the Forgemaster's down, Magma Lattice will engage. And he doesn't really do a lot either. His biggest thing, he'll cast an ability called Slag Smash. It's that 360 smash that he does. There'll be you'll see it again in a couple of seconds. There'll be a large sort of cloud that'll go out around him. Basically, you just want to strafe out of the way and then go back in. Here it is here, out of the way, it goes down, back in. It's that simple. He'll also do a thing called Molten Impact, which summons an add. Now what we normally do is we ignore the adds. I pop an Ox statue down on the first one and it just beats on that. Bit of a miscommunication. You can see our DK's over there wasting time DPSing the add and not the boss. So if you do have the DPS, which you know we do, you just want to ignore the add and just focus down the boss. The adds don't do that much damage that you can't heal through it. And as I said, if you're a Brewmaster, you can pop an Ox statue down to the first one and it can just play with that while you kill the boss. The second ad spawned pretty much right on top of the boss, so I just dragged it across and we killed it with Cleave. And as you can see on this one, I'm just popping another Ox statue down and the ad can play on that. You really probably should only get 3-4 ads maximum for this boss if you've got DPS for gold. So you really shouldn't have too much trouble. If you do need to kill 2 of the ads, by all means do kill them. It doesn't affect anything killing them, and if that helps you survive, then do that. Once we've done this, we're going to go and die. So we die, we res, we rebuff, and we're going to run all the way back down and to the right. I really like doing this this strat. Just it has sort of comical value, I guess, in the fact that you invis the gauntlet. If you fuck up, you have to reset it, and then once you kill the boss, you go and die. It's just something different, I suppose. So you want to run back down. You want to make sure that you're rebuffing. We didn't need another feast, which we probably should have done. There's another 10 seconds, but for the DPS gain that we would have got from that, we really probably should have. So we're going to run all the way down and we're going to go around, mine the pig again, and we're going to go to the second breakpoint pretty much in this instance, which is the next pull of 5. Now again, here's where that planning that I was talking to comes back into the challenge modes. So you can see me marking them up here, skull, X and square. The skull and the X are the geomancers and the square is the water. Now I am on the water full time and getting the fear. Our DPS is smashing down the skull and interrupting what they can and then getting onto the X. So you've got 2 geomancers, 1 water, 1 enforcer and 1 overseer in this pack of 5. You really need to have coordination to get this down. A fear can't go off. People can't be trapped in crushes. You have to watch that from the enforcer. If there's a subjugate cast going, you need to try and interrupt it. But the 2 biggest things are to make sure that you are interrupting the fears and fucking up the geomancers ASAP. It just once the first geomancer's dead, everything becomes easier. Once the second geomancer's dead, you've got this in the bag. And we get through this really smooth, as you can see, and it's all because we had that system worked out of what was going where. If you run in and just you know, drop all of holy hell into the middle and think you're just going to AoE everything down, you're probably gonna die, and you've just wasted all this time. So go in with a plan, guys. So once they're down, we are on to the third boss, the bridge boss, Rolltail. Now the main ability on this boss is his fiery boulders. Hashtag no homo there. He will drop 3 fiery boulders from the sky that land on the bridge, and you can see the big fucking fire circles where the boulders are going to land. And another pro tip is that you don't want to be standing in them. Now, a difference in challenge modes that is different from heroics is the boulders go down the bridge and then they come back up the bridge. So just be mindful of this. Monk's Transcendence is going to be your best friend here. As you can see, I just use it there to flick across to this side. I just pretty much put it on the left side. Realistically, you should wait and see where the first boulder goes and then cast your Transcendence there. Once the first boulders come up, hit your Transcendence, and then you can just stay put and not have to worry about the other 2. You'll also see that he puts fire on the bridge. You don't want to stand in the fire. He'll also cast a thing called Heat Wave, which does damage whilst pushing everybody back down the bridge. It also makes dodging boulders rather difficult, so make sure you are in a good position by the time the third boulder has dropped, so you are so you can navigate a lot easier when that heat wave comes in. For range classes, including healers, it is much easier to stand in with melee than it is at max range down the end of the bridge. You are just going to make your life so difficult. So stand in with melee, or stand in at least on his half of the bridge, just to make your life easy. He drops fairly quickly. You should not have any trouble on this bridge. The biggest thing is just dodging the fiery boulders. So once he's down, we're going to go in and we're going to grab this Bloodmaul Ogron. The Bloodmaul Ogron really doesn't do too much. It doesn't really hit that hard either. It just has a dickload of HP and is a waste of time. So get this guy down as quick as you can, and then you are going to cross your fingers and hope the next part of your pull works. So we're going to get this guy down, and then we're going to go to the next trash pack, which is 2 of these Bloodmaul Ogron. Now the easiest way to deal with the 2 Bloodmaul Ogron is to, what we do is we have our Hunter Drama here. He is going to go and pull both of them, and he is going to go in and to the right. He's going to use deterrence, disengage, whatnots, and we are going to get in and we're going to go to the left. Drama's then going to feign death, they're going to reset, and we are going to go on to the next 4 ogres you can see at the top of the screen there. Now if you don't have a hunter, a rogue will work just the same with Vanish. A warrior could pull them Heroic Leap over there and die, then you could just go and res him. Anything is quicker than fighting them. You can roots them in place, but they do a fuck ton of damage if you're tanking them together, and it's just a waste of time having to do that. So much easier to do it that way, and then go and pull these last 4 all together. Now these last 4 all together are new mobs that you wouldn't have seen through the instance. They're Bloodmaul Flame Speakers. And what they do is they cast a thing called Channel Flames, which you can Dark Sim or Spell Reflect, and it does a absolute ass fucking ton of damage. Look at our DK's damage on the meter there, it is fucking ridic. So you really want to get this. The biggest thing, and we make sure we do it here, is we make sure our DK gets a Dark Sim of the Channel Flames before pulling the boss, and you'll be able to see what that does. Another thing they'll cast is Exploding Flames, and you want to interrupt that. You can see how much damage it does if you get caught in there. Drama actually just said to me that he wanted to show the YouTube community just how much damage it does, so he was willing to stand in front and take one for the team. At least that's his story anyway. So we get them down, and then our DK, as you can see, is already fucking racing ahead on the meters, and look at the boss's HP. It is fucking melting from that Channel Flame Dark Sim. When you pull Gugrock, the last boss, he'll cast Molten Blast straight off the bat. You want to Spell Reflect it if you can, or interrupt it. We're a little far away and I eat it in the face, but it's not too big of a deal. Gugrock will also cast a thing called Flame Buffet on all players. It increases the amount of damage, of fire damage that you'll take for the next 20 seconds. You can dispel it though, just watch whoever has the biggest stack of nerves is going to get hit by what. We'll also cast a thing called Magma Eruption, which casts all those pools of fire on the ground. They'll be there for 2 minutes, and you just don't want to stand in them. Tanks, you want to make sure that you are moving the boss away from them, interrupt the Molten Blast, and move him out so your DPS has got easy access to them. Again, just watch how far back you pull him though, because of the 2 adds that we skipped. You really don't want them in on this fight. The Gugrock will also summon the add you can see, and the add pretty much, you just want to kill it ASAP. Switch to it, stun it, and kill it. It's that simple. So that's pretty much it, guys. We end up beating the gold timer by about 2 minutes and 2 seconds, I think it was. 2 minutes and 4 seconds in the end. If you have any questions, please hit me up as usual. If there's anything I can help you with, I will. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me a like and let me know if you want to see anything else from the videos. Thanks very much for your time, guys. Good luck.